In the autumn of 1979, a quiet political scientist at the University of Michigan mailed out an invitation that would rewrite the way we understand human behavior. He wrote to the sharpest game theorists, economists, and computer scientists alive. "Submit a strategy," he said. "Any strategy you want. It will play the prisoner's dilemma against every other entry." 14 of the most decorated minds on the planet submitted programs. They were paranoid, aggressive, calculated monsters. Hundreds of lines of code, engineered to exploit, dominate, and trap any opponent they faced. The strategy that won was 4 lines long. Most people believe that to survive the games humans play, the negotiations, the betrayals, the quiet manipulations at dinner tables or boardroom meetings, you have to be ruthless, strike first, trust nothing, defect early and often. That belief is a beautiful lie, and the 1980 tournament exposed it with mathematical finality. The move that dismantled every elaborate manipulator in the room is so simple, a child could memorize it in under a minute. The problem is, almost no one in the general population can bring themselves to execute it under pressure. But once you understand why, you will never play another conversation the same way again. The prisoner's dilemma maps onto almost every significant decision you will ever make. 2 players. Each picks in private, to cooperate or to defect. If you both cooperate, you each walk away with a solid reward. If one defects while the other cooperates, the defector wins big, and the cooperator loses everything. If you both defect, you both get punished. The pure mathematics of a single round says one thing: defect. Always defect. No matter what the other person does, defecting gives you a better payoff. This is the famous Nash equilibrium, the stable point where no rational player has any reason to change their move. But here's the cruelty of it. If both players behave rationally, they both defect, and they both end up worse off than if they had simply cooperated. 2 intelligent people each making the individually optimal choice, locking themselves into the collectively worst outcome. Look at your own life. Colleagues hoarding information. Couples who haven't had an honest conversation in years, responding to hurt with more hurt. It is not stupidity. It is mathematically rational, given the assumption that the other person will defect on you. But the tournament changed one variable. The game was not a single round. It was iterated. It repeated. And once a game repeats, ghosts enter the room. Memory, reputation, the possibility of retaliation. Suddenly, every move is not just a move, it is a signal about what kind of player you are. When the final scores were tallied, the academic world went quiet. The strategies engineered by specialists to exploit, manipulate, and dominate had all lost. Every single one of them. The winners shared one quiet trait. They were nice. Not nice in a sentimental self-help way, nice in a precise, operational, surgical way. The tournament champion was a strategy called tit for tat. Its entire code consisted of just 4 rules. On the first move, always cooperate. On every move after that, do exactly what your opponent did on the previous move. Never be the first to defect. Forgive the instant your opponent returns to cooperation. That was it. 4 lines obliterated the most decorated minds. This strategy possesses 4 properties that 99% of the population lacks. It is nice, retaliatory, forgiving, and clear. Look at the people who are slowly failing in their relationships or businesses. They are failing on at least one of these axes. Some are nice but not retaliatory. They swallow every insult and call it maturity. People use them until there is nothing left. Some are retaliatory but not forgiving. They hold grudges like war trophies, turning relationships into decades of cold wars. Some are unclear. They smile, keep score quietly, and then explode. And some are not nice at all. They open every interaction with an attack, treating life like a battlefield. Every one of these players is losing. The single greatest mistake humans make, including the smart, the educated, and the ambitious, is walking through life playing every interaction as if it is a one-shot game, as if the person across from them will vanish, as if they can lie on a resume, stiff a contractor for a small sum, or treat a service worker like furniture. But life is iterated. It has memory. Reputations compound silently across decades. The friend you screwed over in 2018 sits on the hiring committee in 2026. The person you treated dismissively at 23 becomes the decision maker you desperately need at 35. The simple move that outsmarts 99% of the population is this: treat every interaction as if it will repeat. Not because you are afraid of karma, not because of morality, because of the cold mathematics of compounding reputation. While 99% of the population is defecting on the 100 small interactions, they think nobody is watching. The 1% is quietly cooperating, building a reputation so dense that opportunities and trust flow toward them without visible effort. From the outside, it looks like luck. It is not. It is game theory executed with ruthless discipline over time. But why not just take a small advantage and walk away? Why not be a purely rational egoist? In 1982, economist Werner Guth ran the ultimatum game. One stranger is handed $100 and must propose a split to another stranger. If the second person accepts, the money is divided. If they reject it, nobody gets anything at all. Pure classical theory predicts a specific split: offer $1, keep 99. Because $1 is strictly better than zero, the second player should accept. But in reality, people rejected unfair offers constantly. They walked away with literally nothing, just to punish the first player. Neuroeconomists traced the brain activity of people rejecting these low-ball offers. The region that fired most intensely was the anterior insula, the exact same area of the brain that processes physical disgust, the same region activated by the smell of rotting food. An unfair offer doesn't just offend people intellectually, it viscerally nauseates them at a neurological level. Humans are iterated game animals, built by 300,000 years of evolutionary pressure to punish defection. Even when it costs them personally, they will set fire to their own relationships, their own jobs, or their own finances just to hurt someone who crossed a moral threshold. When you exploit a small advantage, you don't just walk away with a small win. You walk away with a quietly accumulating stockpile of hidden enemies who will each pay real personal costs at a moment of their own choosing, just to take something from you. So, you have the architecture. Extend cooperation first. Mirror defection immediately, cleanly, and without drama. Forgive the instant the other side returns to the board. And never, under any circumstance, treat a real human interaction as a one-shot game. Those rules will fit on a single index card. They are embarrassingly, almost insultingly simple. But to execute them, you have to give up something quietly intoxicating: the illusion that you are the main character of a series of one-shot games, where you can take what you want and move on untouched. You have to accept a cold, surgical discipline. The few who can hold that thought slowly build lives that look, from the outside, like the universe is conspiring in their favor. It is not conspiring. They are simply playing a different game than the people around them, playing it for a scoreboard that nobody else has learned to read yet.